At 22 now, after 8 o'clock, Wine Guy Mike with us again this morning, as he is every single week.
Wine Wednesday.
That's right.
And all of our fans out there.
So we're talking about cellaring and vintaging wines, and a lot of people wanting to know. I like this. It's almost like a time capsule idea. We got Jeremy had written in and said, look, I'm interested in getting a nice wine as an anniversary gift, but I want to give it to someone in the year that they were married.
Yeah,
It's like a 10-year anniversary.
His sister was married in the year 2009, and he wanted to know, what 2009 wine he should give her. And it's a very valid question. And he pointed out that he does not understand cellaring, and it actually is. You really need to understand wine to understand cellaring, because 90% of all of the wines that are made today are made to go along with our, social trend that we live in. We all want that instant gratification.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, you go in and look at in most wine stores. I mean, when you go in and look at wine selections, and you used to watch TV as a kid, and you just see somebody bring out a wine, and they're like, "This wine is 50 years old," and blah blah blah. You don't find a lot of those on the shelves unless you're looking specifically. Most of them are, 2009, 2010. I mean, they're relatively new wines.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, most of us are all everyday consumers.
Sure.
Who of us really buys wines for our wine cellar to keep? Generally all of us, we're out, we want a daily drinker or a weekend occasion or special occasion wine, but we want something that we can open up and enjoy right now.
Right.
So with cellaring, you have to understand one of the main components in that are, looking at the varietals or the grape types that have tannin in them. Tannin is a natural preservative that comes from the skin and the stems of the grapes, along with how they are, the wines are made. If they're made in a French or oak barrel, or in the case of Italian wines, Slavonian wood barrels, because those barrels impart tannin nuances to the wine also that help those wines to age. They're made to be laid down, and that's a big difference between European style wines in many cases and American wines. They're old world craftsmen, and they are making wines that are going to be laid down and enjoyed 10 years later. We're just a little more anxious.
Sure. Yeah. And then you note that red wines, the grape for red wines has more tannin, so you don't generally see white wines aged the way that red wines are set out and set aside for a longer period of time.
But there are a few, as our fans will see if they go to the Wine Guy Mike blog. Some of the white wines that will age are California Chardonnays. They can age 3 to 8 and more years, depending on the style of the winemaker had in mind when he made that wine. Or some of the French white Burgundies or the German Rieslings. I mean, they can age up to 30 years, as can some of the French Sauternes. Yeah.
So those would be a good idea for Jennifer, who wants to buy the baby a bottle of wine that they can enjoy at 21.
She needs to look at this list and go, okay, this year I need to buy that French Bordeaux that I can lay down for 20 to 25 years.
Right.
So she needs to look at this chart and buy accordingly. And Jeremy as well. He needs to look at, if I'm going to buy a 2009 wine, what is it? Well, I can tell you right now, it's probably going to be a French Bordeaux or a California Cabernet.
Sure.
It's really well made.
Okay. And Patty is our other winner of the certificate. Yeah. Patty had written a question.
She had a great question, too, about
she
her
does.
Christmas party.
Yeah, a Christmas party for 30 people with some avid wine drinkers and also some non-wine lovers. And so she was looking for a moderately priced vino that complements a traditional ham dinner that might appeal to wine lovers and maybe folks that aren't as enthusiastic about wine. So quickly, Mike, what do you recommend? I know folks can go to your blog for a more detailed answer.
Yeah, I recommended a Beaujolais, which is a wine that is picked and harvested and barreled and made into wine almost immediately in France. It's a very light, fruity red wine that's well balanced with its fruit and acid that will go great with ham. And then for the white wine, I chose a Chenin Blanc Chardonnay blend that I personally love. Both of these wines are under $10. Grizzly Liquor has a great selection. And you can try these by the glass down at Chow Mambo as well. So
Okay.
Okay.
And then in closing, I just wanted to say, I know that you, as part of your answer, included a quote from Maya from the movie Sideways.
that I wanted Paula to read
Yeah.
because
Really.
this really is the summary of wine.
All right. It says, I like to think of the life of wine, how it is a living thing. I like to think that what was going on the year the grapes were growing, how the sun was shining, if it rained. I like to think about the people who tended and picked the grapes. If it's an old wine, how many of them may be dead by now? I like to think how wine continues to evolve. Like if I opened a bottle of wine today, it would taste different than if I opened it on any other day because a bottle of wine is actually alive. And if it's constantly evolving and gaining complexity until it peaks, like your 61, then it begins its steady, inevitable decline. And I think by decline she means consumption, right?
That is a beautiful,
Yeah.
Did you like that?
beautiful, beautiful reading.
great. That was
from Paula Parks.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Paula.
So, well, thank you.
Wine Wednesday, girl.
Here all day.
Paula Parks.
All right, check the
That's
blog
right.
for more detailed information. And Jeremy and Patty, you're our winners of the gift certificates, so we'll make sure that you get the information on that. And thanks to Chow Mambo and Grizzly Liquor for contributing
definitely.
those
Keep
to
the great
show.
questions coming, fans.
Oh, man,
You
yeah.
know, there's gift certificates attached
Yeah.
to those questions.
That's
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
All
All
right,
right.
Mike, we'll see you next week.
Happy Wine Wednesday to you
All right.
guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Mike. 8:27 right now at the ranch.